The galactic station Omega-7 hummed with the constant chatter of 100 different species conducting trade, diplomacy, and research across the known galaxy. In the communal dining hall, Liana Martinez sat quietly at her usual corner table, methodically working through her lunch, grilled vegetables, quinoa salad, and synthetic protein cubes seasoned with earth herbs. "Look at the human," chittered Zexkar, a mantis-like Thraxian whose compound eyes gleamed with amusement. Eating plants like some primitive herbivore. His tablemates, a collection of carnivorous species from across the Andromeda sector, burst into what passed for laughter among their kinds. The Krillian beside him, resembling a scaled wolf, bared rows of razor teeth in what Liana had learned, was their version of a smirk. "On Krila, we feed plants to our livestock before we eat them," growled Vorth, his translator crackling with disdain. "How did such weak creatures ever make it to the stars?" Liana continued eating, having grown accustomed to these daily provocations over her 6-month assignment to the station. As the sole human xenobiologist studying interspecies nutrition, she'd heard every variation of the weak human joke imaginable. "Perhaps," hissed Susthera, the Serpentine Nagai delegate, "their plant eating explains why they're so soft. No real predator instincts." That's when Marcus Chen, Liana's research partner and the station's human cultural attaché, slid into the seat across from her. His tray held what appeared to be the same vegetarian meal, but Liana noticed the slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Rough crowd today?" Marcus asked, loud enough for the neighboring tables to hear. "The usual," Liana replied, matching his volume. "Though I think they're getting bolder with their commentary." Zexkar's head swiveled toward them, mandibles clicking in what Liana recognized as the Thraxian equivalent of laughter. "Did the softskins hear us? We mean no offense, humans. We simply find it curious that apex predators like ourselves share a station with creatures who sustain themselves on chlorophyll and fiber." Marcus set down his fork and regarded the alien with interest. "Apex predators, that's fascinating. Tell me, Zexkar, what's the most dangerous prey your species has ever hunted?" The Thraxian puffed up with pride, his exoskeleton plates shifting to display dominance colors. "The Threnody bulls of our homeworld, 6 meters tall, armored hide, tusks like plasma cutters. My grandfather once took down 3 in a single hunt." "Impressive," Marcus nodded appreciatively. "And Vorth, I imagine Krillian hunting traditions are equally formidable." The wolf-like alien's ears perked forward. "The crystal bears of the northern wastes, they can tear through starship hull plating with their claws." As the carnivorous aliens boasted about their respective species' hunting prowess, more gathered around, drawn by the opportunity to showcase their predatory heritage. Even the usually reserved Susthera began describing the massive ice serpents her people traditionally hunted in the polar regions of their homeworld. Liana watched Marcus work, recognizing his technique. He was gathering data, just as she did, in her lab, but his specimens were egos instead of tissue samples. "Remarkable," Marcus said finally, when the boasting had reached a natural lull. "Your species have all mastered the art of hunting the most dangerous predators on your respective worlds. True apex behavior." The aliens preened under the praise. "Of course," Marcus continued casually, "I suppose it's only natural that you'd focus on the most challenging prey available to you." Zexkar's mandibles clicked uncertainly. "What do you mean?" "Well, you hunt what's available on your worlds. Threnody bulls, crystal bears, ice serpents, all magnificent creatures, I'm sure, but limited to single ecosystems." Liana began to understand where Marcus was heading and suppressed a smile. "Humans," Marcus continued, "had to be a bit more creative in our approach to sustenance. You see, Earth wasn't just home to 1 or 2 apex predators. We shared our world with thousands of them. And when you're not naturally equipped with claws, fangs, or armored hides..." He paused, letting the implication hang in the air. "You have to get creative," Liana finished, finally joining the conversation. "So we learned to hunt everything. Mammoths in the Ice Age, cave bears, saber-toothed cats, giant sharks. We even figured out how to hunt the oceans themselves. But that's... Fourth began, then stopped. Impossible? Marcus asked. Here, let me show you something. He pulled up his personal tablet and began displaying images from Earth's history. Humans with spears bringing down creatures 10 times their size. Persistence hunting across vast savannas until even the fastest prey collapsed from exhaustion. Ancient fishing techniques that could empty entire river systems. The thing is, Liana said, warming to the subject, we didn't just hunt for survival. We hunted for sport, for challenge. We actively sought out the most dangerous prey we could find, generation after generation, until we dominated every ecosystem on our planet. The dining hall had grown quiet, other aliens straining to listen. Marcus tapped his tablet again, bringing up new images. But then we ran out of challenging prey on Earth, so we started creating our own. The screen showed competitive eating, contests, extreme cuisine, and molecular gastronomy that transformed simple ingredients into complex, almost artistic creations. You see, Liana continued, by the time we reached the stars, we'd already conquered hunting. So we moved on to the next logical challenge, finding new ways to make even simple sustenance interesting. She gestured to her salad. This plant, food you've been mocking, those herbs were cultivated in zero-gravity hydroponic gardens. The vegetables were gene-modified to grow in 17 different atmospheric compositions. The protein was synthesized from base amino acids and structured to provide optimal nutrition for extended space travel. Marcus grinned. We didn't stop hunting, friends, we just started hunting flavor itself. Zexkar's compound eyes focused intently on Liana's plate. You mean, this is actually advanced prey preparation? Think of it as the ultimate expression of predatory evolution, Liana explained. We became so efficient at hunting that we transcended the need for simple kill and consume patterns. Now we engineer our sustenance at the molecular level. The silence stretched longer as the assembled aliens processed this information. Finally, Sistara spoke, her voice carrying a new note of respect. Perhaps we have misunderstood human dietary customs. Perhaps, Marcus agreed, though I should mention, we never actually stopped hunting in the traditional sense either. We just expanded our definition of prey. He brought up one final image on his tablet, a human in an environmental suit, floating in the vacuum of space, harvesting rare minerals from an asteroid's surface. These days, he said quietly, we hunt entire star systems. The dining hall remained silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, the other species began returning to their own meals. Their earlier boisterous confidence notably dimmed. Liana picked up her fork and resumed eating her salad, savoring both the perfectly balanced flavors and the look of newfound wariness in her former tormentor's eyes. Marcus winked at her across the table. Same time tomorrow? He asked. Wouldn't miss it, she replied, though I think we might have some new dining companions soon. Indeed, as she glanced around the hall, Liana noticed several aliens surreptitiously studying their own meals with what appeared to be newfound consideration, as if seeing food not as simple sustenance but as a conquered frontier. The hunt, it seemed, continued to evolve.